Alrighty, this is going to be an experiment with the Wi-Fi on here, but I'm hoping that my cell phone signal should be good enough for a pretty steady live stream. So I apologize in advance if there is some skips on this and you may want to fast forward. But I'm here at Gia Dinh Park, and I'm just going to take a walk through the park and kind of talk about some of my thoughts of what we've seen recently here with some of the smart contracts, and something I was kind of working on before, which was kind of going over the privacy coins. So I was probably about a month ago, I did pretty in-depth. I did a video, didn't get a whole lot of views, but like I laid out like 75 different privacy coins to get into, and kind of the different exchanges and places you can pick them up. And I want to do an update on that because I got into a lot of them. You know, it's because I'm in roughly about, you know, I'd say probably about 80, maybe about 80 different coins. Like I saw Crypto did a video where he was going over like the 60 coins that he's in and why. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So the why factor is a good one in terms of like, you know, why you're investing in some of these different projects. So the smart contract space has been one that I just kind of recently got into, basically about 2 weeks ago. So you know, the balances that I've had, like in terms of like the ETH that I've invested, particularly for some of the other, the large contract that I'm in right now, which is proof of weak hands. All of the other ones I really haven't been putting a whole lot into, but I've been making roughly, you know, the same amount of dividends. It just, you know, it kind of depends because it's such a fast changing market right now. Like everyone's skipping around into some of the different contracts, you know, whatever's trending at the moment. This place is huge. But there's some people over there doing some sort of class. I gotta go a little bit over here. So the smart contracts that I'm in, I'm going to be starting to get into maybe a few others. Like I just got into Pure Connect. You know, I'm eventually going to get into Proof of Trevon James. I just don't know, you know, if now's a good time. And I don't really have, you know, a whole lot of money that I really wanted to throw at it right now. There's, I'm sure there's going to be a few others that are going to come into play. But as far as getting, you know, kind of a rate of return, like one of the things I haven't dived into as much has been some of the Masternode projects that you can get into with the privacy coins. Like PoWH is a good one that I'm really interested in kind of setting up, along with a few others. And I've got some stuff that I'm going to be looking at setting up, basically going through that and teaching people that want to get into it if they want to set up a Masternode themselves. They're going to be a little bit pricier to get into. There are ones, smaller market cap coins that have not the highest coin, you know, count limit in order to get into them, but they typically are pretty, you know, you have to have quite a bit in those to have a Masternode. You don't necessarily need that with the smart contracts. Check this out. I like taking pictures in the park. She's looking good. Clover, just invest in regular coins. These coins all die. Yeah, well, they're down in volume right now. The smart contract, like balances, like I've been kind of documenting that on a spreadsheet. No spreadsheet today, but the volumes are pretty low. Like I'm still getting a decent dividends day. Like I made, you know, 160 roughly in dividends today. It wasn't the biggest day because there wasn't a whole lot of volume, but you know, like if the balances in these contracts come up, or is it just going to be something where people are just hopping from contract to contract? And that could be pretty harmful for a space where a lot of people are just not going to be willing to invest, because a lot of them are basically zero-sum games, you know? And, you know, it takes people getting into it and volume in that contract for it to go. And if you're not getting that, then the contracts will slowly drain over time. And there's been a few examples of that here recently. And so that's something that is going to be a risk with, you know, these contracts, at least right now. But the thing that I want to kind of remind people is they're not going away. Like, they're immutable. So these are going to be in the crypto space, and it's kind of like a secondary market that has really come about. And so, like, I really like that element of it because it's new. And typically, you know, stuff that's new in crypto can be very profitable. I'll check on the chat a little bit. How much did you put in for those? Like, I think that's one thing I wanted to do a little bit more with people, is going through so like my strategy with proof of week hands was to get into basically like the 50, or you know, the 50th position or so, and try to kind of maintain that. At the time that I got in, that was about 47 ETH, and so I went in pretty big. Like, I kind of like took it at different steps. Now the contract balance has come down quite a bit, so in turn, like, the coins that I bought aren't worth as much, so I've lost quite a bit in my ETH value in that project. But the idea is if volume returns to proof of week hands, it's going to come up to a point where it's going to be a break even, especially considering the dividends that I've been pulling out every day. So that's where the element of time really comes into play, where you have to stay in these contracts, and you can't get out when they keep, you know, getting drained. The problem is this going to be a contract that just gets continually drained? Yeah, Fun Face by Craig Grant. Yeah, he sent me some info on that. I haven't had a chance to look into it yet. But I think he has good intentions behind it. I just bought a CyberPower PC, GUA 1400. Gonna start mining Ethereum. Yeah. I want to set up maybe a couple of mining rigs, because I haven't done it, like, you know, personally, like set up a mining. I mean, they're pretty straightforward, but they are noisy. So, like, if you have a place that you can do it where you don't have to deal with noise, it's a good one. But this park is huge, and it's great. Like, they have a lot of everything's kind of pedestrian friendly, I guess. There's always stuff going on in the park. You come in here, like, sometimes on the weekends, like, I'll come out and I'll come jog for, like, you know, half hour or something, like at 6, 7 in the morning, thinking nobody's going to be out here. And I come out here and the place is packed. Like, they'll have classes going on. They'll have people, you know, doing like either like Tai Chi or like yoga. They typically don't do stuff where they're on the ground, but they're all doing kind of coordinated exercise stuff. Like, there's seniors. There's like, sometimes you'll see groups of kids, not necessarily in the morning, but this place is gigantic, which is kind of cool. It's just nice to just kind of walk around, get away from all my technology, all my computer screens. But kind of going back over my original topic with basically the smart contracts versus just kind of like getting into privacy coins that have the Masternode element. Like Dash has a very high, Masternode requirement where it's going to, cost like $100,000 to get a Masternode. There was something I saw where it was like saying that, so 70%, or I think it was 80% of the coins that Dash has that are out there are locked up in Masternodes. So there was like the top 10 addresses, I believe it was like 9%, and then like the article was going over the 70% below that, whereas basically you're having all of these massive Masternodes. They're expensive to get into. There's some big ones that are out there. There was some controversy with BitConnect and Dash, with some of those elements, because that was kind of the argument that like CoinMarketCap wasn't going to recognize the circulating supply with BitConnect coins at the time, and that was like when they had just passed Dash on CoinMarketCap. And here you have all of these coins that are essentially locked up. They're kind of in the same thing. BitConnect, it seems, was running some sort of like large staking wallet, and that was basically some of the ways that you had the ability to create interest or yields off of a large wallet like that, or large wallets like you have in the privacy coins. But I haven't set one up, so I mean, I figure I'm gonna start watching some videos on it, figure it out. A lot of it has to do with just, what kind of investment you're willing to put into those Masternodes. What up, Truce? Any news on BitConnect X? Yeah, May 10th. Nothing. I think they're just, supposedly they have some people that are dealing with some legal issues. I have no idea. But that seems to be the issue, is that they don't want to launch an exchange while there's litigation in process. See this park here? I'll switch this around for you guys. I mean, this place is like a kid's heaven. There's all kinds of stuff over here. The place is just huge. It's a great place to jog. I think right now though, like diversification, like if you're getting in kind of like these Masternode systems with the smart contracts, like I think it's a good idea to look at diversifying and saying, hey, I'm going to put 50% in the smart contracts, 50% into these other projects like privacy coin Masternodes. that don't have the same kind of risk of having the valuation of the coin drop as much as we've seen recently in these smart contracts. So, I mean, I think that that's probably the best way to look at it, at least right now, or at least one of the more conservative ways. There's a few other projects I think that are kind of interesting. Like, I know some people have been interested in the doubler projects. So you had doubler was set up on proof of weak hands. So essentially, the the way that project works, just to kind of give a brief rundown on that, it's basically you're putting in ETH into the contract with the promise of basically, you're going to be in a position, as it's basically paid out in order. So the people that are paid double what they put in, it's paid out in order. So it's just a matter of time before that contract goes through, because it's basically an ERC20 contract. And what you have is now you're seeing some of the developers in other projects, namely PoWH, are adding the same feature. So I haven't tested that out, but I imagine they probably just cloned the doubler contract and added it to PoWH. So it'd be pretty straightforward. So I think that would be, if you want to kind of get into those, if you think that volume's going to be in those contracts. I mean, the PoWH contract was like 58 or something. It's continuing to kind of drop. Like, I made, I'm still making, money in dividends. I think I made like 10 bucks in PoWH, but I put 3.5 ETH in there, and now it's less than an ETH. So I'm not too happy about that. But if volumes return, and if the project stays alive and they are able to drive volume into the project, it'll be a good, you'll get a return on investment, within a few month time period. One of the things I saw was with Locked In, it looked like a lot of the coins exited the contract. So there was like, was it like 65, dropped down to like 55. It took a while to drop down to 55. And then today it was like 25. And so I think part of that was people getting into like the lottery, like options and things that they were getting ready. So like probably one of my biggest payouts besides Craig Grant Now or CG Now was the Locked In contract, because everyone got out. So now the balance in the contract's much lower. So again, like the investment that I put in there is only worth like half what it is. And so you have to have the idea that if you're putting money into these contracts, that you're going to, you're going to ride it out for the long term. You're not going to make money by, by getting in and getting out. So what's going to drive volume into those contracts is going to be, is going to be a changing over the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. I mean, this market is really starting. It kind of boomed, at one point when we saw proof of weak hands, the ETH in that contract hitting 20,000. Now, everything's kind of dissipated as people are kind of getting out completely, or getting out to get into other contracts. We got all these exercise things here. So basically, like you, I don't know how that one works. I guess it's like a kind of a rowing thing. That's like a dip bar. All of them are like different. Forget to water the plant. I've watered it. These things are really cool. I got a bunch of these. Spinning around. This is a cool part of the park. They got like the pool. Like they turn on those fountains at night. There's a lot of people out here at night. Yeah, but I live right next to this park, so it's a great little spot to just come out. And there's not too many people, which is, you know, another nice thing. Certain times there are, but I don't think you're supposed to be riding a motorbike through here. But this place is massive. It goes on the other side of the road too, like they have this busy highway. You kind of see back off in the distance. Thanos on the motorbike. Yeah, I'm gonna go to this cafe across the street and I think I'm gonna get breakfast there. They got a little stadium here. Like this stadium area is where I go and run in the morning. Like a nice grass field. I should do a live stream one time when I'm doing my running workout in the morning. Real food around here, like food you'd see in America, is hard to come by actually. It's strange. It's they eat a lot more like, I feel like soups, like vegetables, like not very much sugar other than like the kind of the canned drinks and things like that they have. They sell all over the road. But this place is busy. What happened in BitConnect? I don't know, man. I'm still trying to find out as well. I think right now they're dealing with legal stuff, but I haven't heard anything. Yeah. That's a stadium I go and run at. Yeah, like that's what everyone rides, the scooters. There's like no real crosswalk or anything like that. Like you just cross and they get out of your way. And that's how it's done in Vietnam. I love this spot right here though. You get used to it over here. It's a little bit like, the roads are like chaotic and crazy, but like here, I'll just show you guys an example. Like look at the people like turning left. Like this is how you turn left. There was a huge like sea of people that were doing it before. I mean, you just, like, this is the way people drive. Like, when I first saw it, I was just, you know, there's no lights or anything. It's just, everyone just kind of enters traffic. And then everyone just kind of slows down. And they'll swerve and then they'll cross. And if like you have a car, like you got to be careful. Like there's no rules. Like, anything goes. But I say it's a lot better than having, you know, American cops after your ass for not wearing a seatbelt. This is a big ass road right here. This goes into this major intersection they've got over here. This is a cafe, man. So I'm gonna get off the stream here in a little bit. Get some breakfast. Like, this is a major intersection. I'm gonna show you this to you guys. You'd be surprised, like there's hardly any accidents. It's just, kind of coordinated chaos. Look at this guy. Like, I don't see it as unusual here for so long, but like it's all motorbikes. The occasional garbage truck or bus, and the buses are always beeping. Yeah, I don't even know what this yellow X is. I guess it's just to mark the intersection. But, you know, people they just go whenever they want. Like, they don't slow down. People going left, they don't slow down at all. They don't even look. Like, not only do they not slow down, they barely look. You know, it's just... Some people follow the rules. Like, if you're turning left, you have to turn left like early. But yeah, you get used to it. Show us the red light district. They don't actually have a red light district technically, like in Vietnam. Like they have areas, from what I understand, but it's not like Amsterdam. But this is the restaurant I'm about to eat at. The people are camera shy, so I don't like it. I try not to like keep the camera on people if they don't like it. Yeah, it's too much road rage. Like I was getting some serious road rage when I first started driving. Like I got into a wreck that was completely 100% not my fault. Like this bitch was driving the wrong way down the frickin' road, and I hit her like head on, T-boned her. We hit tire to tire. Like, can you imagine getting in a wreck, tire to tire, like straight on? It was crazy. And man, but she was just like a deer caught in the headlights. You know, it's just. You can hear lots of beeping. Just gonna have to try to take it a little bit slow. But man, yeah, like it piles up here. All right, guys, that's your adventure for today. I'm gonna get some breakfast. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow.